Experts at the National Conference on Polar Sciences in Goa warned that rapid climate change in the polar regions is threatening oceans, weather patterns, and coastal areas worldwide. They call for stronger international action and more research to protect global communities. Scientists at Polar Science 2025 in Sada, Goa highlighted the alarming effects of accelerated climate change in the polar regions, with melting ice in Antarctica and the Arctic contributing to rising sea levels and disrupting ocean systems. Experts are urging stronger international efforts and improved research to safeguard coastal areas and marine ecosystems.
Why I am particular about the sea level rise is because unlike other regions, the tropical regions, it will be, again, we have a lot of thermospheric effect, and apart from this, so we will be more amplified, this sea level effect. So I think we need to understand how much contribution from both the thermospheric as well as static the glacier, what extra water mass, we need to understand that. And also, I think in each region, especially all the four regions, I mean Arctic, Antarctic, Southern Ocean and Himalaya, four regions, we should have a niche area. Coming back to Himalaya, we need to study about glacier melt, and also we are doing mass balance and other things. And more importantly, you all know that nowadays more and more disasters or hazards are there in the Himalayan region. Of course, it is all cascading effect. Rain, landslide, glow, and many other things are happening in a cascading way. So we need to understand this system better. For that, what we need to monitor and what we need to do science, and for the resilient, we have to have some of the system in place in the Himalayan region, especially disaster-related things.
The idea came to have the network within the country, within India, actually to involve all young scientists as well as the middle level as well as senior scientists together to have potential collaborations among the institutions within the country, as well as think about strategies and ideas for doing science in a better way. I think we do it every 2 years, and this has provided nearly more than 300 people are participating in it. And we also, yesterday we had a very enthusiastic young project, polar scientist meeting. So this altogether actually provides an impetus to actually how, as the globe is changing and so is the polar regions, how will ultimately we will, how do we understand them better?
The pace of change in Antarctica is accelerating, and that change means loss of ice, more rapid loss of ice, which of course means changes in sea level around the world, but it also means changes to ocean circulation, changes to atmospheric circulation, and the impacts of those changes on iconic Antarctic species such as penguins, but also further into the terrestrial environment, looking at nematodes and things that live in the soil. So the changes are quite impactful, they are more rapid than we expect, and it really is time to pay attention to what we might do about it and how we might respond, and not just mitigate, but actually how we might now adapt to some of those changes that are inevitable.
On asking the President of International Science Council Scientific Committee on Antarctic Research about the evolving role of the organization at the Center of Research on Global Warming and the interaction between the atmosphere and the ocean, especially as communities remain skeptical and alarmed, he shared insights on how the committee is addressing the challenge of helping policymakers and the public understand these critical issues.
So SCAR is certainly involved in helping lead the scientific programs in the Antarctic and bring the 46 member nations of SCAR together to work collectively, but it's also equally involved in helping ensure that information, that research information, is available for policymakers and for people to understand and adapt to. The changes are now being observed in Antarctica, so we know that the changes are happening. They're measured and we can see them. So the challenge for us now is in how we respond to them. We're already seeing, we're now at 4.5 millimetres of change in sea level rise per year. That may seem like a small amount, but that's accelerating, and it's year upon year upon year. So it's really starting to affect some of the coastal regions, as are the changes in local weather patterns because of that change in heat from the oceans and the change in the atmospheric circulation. In terms of the treaty, members, they are looking now at the impacts on iconic species such as emperor penguins that are losing their habitat because of it. So those are changes we can now see.
Hiru Mahale, Lindsay Menezes and Sanika Nagvikar for GOA365.